frequently. I apologize. Next is Teresa Schirmer, speaking on SPED.
Thank you. Teresa Schirmer. I live at 80 Center Street. And this is the first time I've ever come in front of the school committee and actually talked about a personal, one of my children. So I'm here because I've been impacted. I think it's a systematic problem at this point in the school in regard to confidentiality. My daughter's currently a 7th grader at the Carroll School. And the Carroll School, as you know, you met with them last June. They're a school for children who have dyslexia. They're an amazing school for children who have dyslexia. You opened up the doors and allowed them to do some research here. I'm not sure with how many children, but to pilot a program here that hadn't been elsewhere, just in a controlled environment in Carroll. And you allowed them now to do some research with targeted cognitive intervention. My daughter has been there for 3 years. She is a 7th grader, born and raised in Andover, like many children that are 7th graders, but unfortunately has dyslexia. And during the last 3 years, she certainly thrived at the Carroll School. We're now in discussions with the district around where she should be going in 8th grade. And we met with the district at the beginning of March and discussed that, and Carroll was not placed on the table. I'm not sure if you're aware that they no longer are receiving public funding. Their mission is the same, the teachers are the same, the administration is the same, but they are now a private school. So we are told that the option would be Landmark, which we agreed to a referral. She's not even on a wait list yet. We were presented with 3 other schools, and in looking at their profile, it's a very different profile than my daughter's as a child who has dyslexia. And then mid-April, we were sent an email, and we were told to look at Marblehead Public Schools, Beverly Public Schools, and Manchester Essex Public Schools. I responded and asked from the district for some material. I received a link to the Marblehead Public Schools, and this is what I was told. Again, a 7th grade girl who's been at a school for 3 years. I'm asked to send her to a public school where I get one link with 1 page of information. Last week we had a meeting with the district, and in that meeting, we were again told that we should look at the public schools, and we were told to look at Beverly. I said I had asked for written information. I received nothing about Beverly. I was then told that Beverly had accepted my daughter on a blind referral. I was a bit stunned because I'm very well aware of the FERPA laws, and I'm well aware of the laws that protect disabled children, where she would be fall under. And no information should have been sent without my permission or my husband's permission. We had no information about Beverly prior to last week, and even then received 1 sheet. So when I asked in that meeting for the information that was provided, I was told it was redacted. I asked who it was provided to, when it was provided, and what information was given. I was given no answers to those questions. I then emailed and asked for the records because by Friday morning I wanted to know what was released over the last 3 years about my daughter and to what entity without her permission. I received an email from Mr. Szymanski yesterday saying that it would probably cost about $50 to get that information. I'm a bit stunned, again, understanding my rights as a parent and information that would go through an email server to any other entity than what I'm aware of. So this confidentiality, I think, is a larger issue, and I would ask the committee to look at that from a lens of looking at the entire district and how we're treating confidential information, children's confidential information, as well as employees. And lastly, I just want to say, my daughter as a 7th grader, I know emotionally she should be at the Carroll School. Intellectually, I'm a therapist who's worked for 25 years with adolescents in the community and their families. So I know intellectually she should be there. It's too disruptive to move a 7th grade child. And then, as a teacher, I just finished up teaching adolescent development at BC. As a professor, I know the research. I know the peer-reviewed information out there. I'm an associate dean at BC. I know people that I can bring in as experts to say this isn't the time. And yet, we're put in a position on May 24th that I have to go home and say to my 7th grader, we don't know where you're going in 8th grade. Special education parents need your help. Thank you.
Thank you.